Welcome back to another episode of Bombshell 1111 Girl Talk Series Podcast. Bombshell 1111 is a platform created to teach ways to nourish the mind, body, and soul. This platform allows this podcast to create weekly content on podcasts with special guests each week that will stimulate your spiritual, mental, and physical growth. The podcasts are played on social media platforms such as Spotify, YouTube, Anchor Radio Station, Apple Podcasts, and more. This station has been created to allow us to interact with each other to share knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and light. So without further ado, please help me welcome your host and founder of Bombshell 1111 Girl Talk Series, Keya.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bombshell 1111 Hella Thought Series. My name is Keya, and I'm your host. I also have my co-host, Aziza, joining us tonight. What's up, Aziza? How are you?
I'm well, Queen. How are you?
I'm good. Peace. Tonight, you guys, we have a guest out of Kosciuszko, Mississippi, by the name of Nancy Burroughs, joining us tonight, and she's going to share with us her new business venture. She's going to share with us some valuable information that will help us not only within our family structure, but with generational wealth as well. So without further ado, let's welcome Nancy to the show. Hey, Nancy, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're good.
Excited.
Yeah.
Yes. How y'all queens doing today?
We're doing really good. Thank you so much for deciding to come on and be a guest on Bombshell 1111 podcast.
Yes, thanks for having me.
You're very more than welcome. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right in. And can you do a brief introduction of letting everyone know who you are, where you're from, and what made you want to get into the business venture that you just started?
Okay, actually, my name is Nancy Burroughs, and I'm a class of 99. Me and Keya, we went to school together here in Kosciuszko, Mississippi.
Woo-woo.
Yes. Home of the mighty Whippets. Yes. I did. I went to Holmes Community College for a little while, and then I went to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta. Stayed out there for a little while, and one of my close family member and friend, she actually joined Primerica. Mm-hmm. And she joined the business, and of course, you have the opportunity to recruit people and bring people in under you. And so, she showed the opportunity to me, and I kind of piqued interest in it or whatever. And it still didn't register to me the opportunity that I had or what I had my hands on. So I took a little interest in it, came into business, got a few promotions and everything, realized what I had. Mm-hmm. So I did. I got out the business. A little later on, I took my hands off of it. And then I got back in. She came back to me. She's like, sis, you don't want to join back, come back in? I said, well, you know what? I'll give it another go. Got back in, got a few more promotions, made a couple of more dollars. I still wasn't feeling it. I wasn't rocking it like I wanted to. You see what I'm saying? So, again, I don't care if your why don't make you cry. I don't care how many dollars you make, or you know what I'm saying, or if you don't have no passion or no drive behind it, it don't matter.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
So, fast forward, I had went through ugly divorce, everything, moved back home, and my family have been in the community that we've been in. We have been in, my family had a daycare center back in 88.
Forever.
So we have been in, yes, like forever. When I say forever, ever, we have been in this community. And so, we have had our hands on the community for a long time. So when I say, if your why don't make you cry, it don't matter. Mm-hmm. So I've had generations and generations of different people, and did not realize that what this business venture was, mm-hmm. To where it even made a difference. So I moved back home, and my mom had to close down the daycare center because my dad had got sick. He got really, really sick. He's a bad diabetic, so he got sick. And so when I came back home, she had closed down. And again, when you got whatever you got going on, you're not really concentrating on nothing else. Nothing else really matters.
Right.
So came home, they had shut down. Okay, but she was still keeping a couple of kids at home to kind of make things continue to go. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, Mom, let me just take that load off of you so you can take care of Daddy. So I did that. And again, I still wasn't thinking about the venture that I left. Everything I had in Georgia, I left it there. I left the business of Primerica. I left all that behind because I knew what I had here. The daycare center and everything the plateau that my family had here in Mississippi. I already knew I had some type of foundation that I can bounce back to. So I came back here and I did that. And so not knowing that I can even piggyback off of that.
Right.
So fast forward, I go on and, I get the daycare center back up and running. And then Tammy Beasley, my girl, she does a lot of different things in the community. Mm-hmm. And so, again, another good friend, she was on Facebook, and she was going on her endeavor of what she was about to do and stuff. And, people be putting their little stuff up, and then you be trying to piggyback and kind of see what they got going on. But she was talking about this insurance thing that she's about to get into. And so once she told me what it was she was about to do, and I'm like, okay, girl, that company there, I know what they do for their people. And I know the endurance, I know what they stand for. I know they're not just an insurance company. This company stands on the value of educating their community. They want you to understand that we are going to educate the people. We're not just going to sell them life insurance. We're going to make sure they'll be properly protected, but also have the educational standpoint to where we're going to make sure you're financially stable to where when you retire, you're well off as well, and leaving generational wealth. Or when your kids get ready to go to college, they're not bogged down with debt and different things. So just the educational standpoint of all of that. So that goes back to that why. So then I'm looking at all these different generational people. Now it goes back to these same kids that my mom had raised, and now their kids bringing their kids back to the same place where the foundation of where my mom and dad had started off, and now I'm impacting. It's like a life, and I hope I'm not taking y'all everywhere, but it's just like a life, and it's just like overwhelming, and it's like my why. So
Well, no, the question was what made you get into your business venture, your journey. So you're explaining, to us what made you get to where you are. So you definitely answered that question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to take it all the way back to, okay, now I see why. Now where I'm at right now is why I see why the need for it. Not knowing that way back then, the seeds that I was getting, when I was picking it up, grabbing all those seeds, not knowing that I was going to need it for what I'm at right now in my life.
Well, you definitely led into Aziza's segue with the questions that she has coming up for you in reference to the knowledge that you have gained, breaking down some of those different services that you guys do provide. So I'll let Aziza go ahead and start asking those questions.
Okay.
Okay, peace, Queen. So and it's fine that you took it from the gas phase as far as, you know, the generational imprint that your family has had, which is, you know, major shout out to that. That's very important, you know, and we don't have families that provide those type of services anymore. So your mother, your matriarch of your family has raised, like you said, generations of children. And that's very important. So I want to shout out your grand earth for that. But my question was the importance of life insurance in the Black community. It seems that just observing, whenever there's a death, we're not prepared. You see GoFundMe's or people just coming out of pocket to try to assist someone with, you know, burying their loved one. And with the educational piece, how much does Primerica do when it comes to enforcing, and I'm going to use the word enforcing, the importance of life insurance benefits for your loved ones, as far as the education of people with that?
Absolutely. And that's why we are on the crusade of recruiting people like myself to go out and get the word out about what it is that we do, and try to sit down with as many families as we can, because we don't have enough sales force out there getting the word out about what it is that we are doing on a daily basis. Of course, when we first, I used to think about how my mom and dad and even my grandparents, how they faithfully paid insurance policies. They just did not feel the need of asking anybody to put loved ones to rest. They just did not believe in that. But nowadays, you know, our pride has gotten, don't nobody care. You know, they care, you know, if, you know, they don't care how we bury each other. You know, they'd rather borrow and beg and steal or whatever. And it's sad to say that this is what it is that we have come into. But that's where we at when it comes down to just getting the sale for it. So when it comes down to getting the people, recruiting people to get the word out that we are here, and this is very, very important, because it's not anyone's responsibility. This is not for anyone else. It's not for no one else's loved ones. It's not nobody else's responsibility but our own, to bury our own people.
I don't have another question. I have more clarification. You know, from a spiritual standpoint, you know, you brought out some two key things that, yes, you know, I watched my great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, my parents, you know, pay life insurance. For whatever it is, you know, for whatever reason, the difference between a whole life and a term life policy. Mm-hmm. You know, that's something that a lot of our people don't even know or aware of. Mm-hmm. Underlying health conditions that can prevent you from even being insured when you decide that you should probably get insurance. Even veterans, especially our Black veterans, because that's my focus, is, you know, liberation, edification of my people. They just, you know, they don't know that they're not going to get but $300 for a veteran's funeral from the Department of Veterans Affairs.
Absolutely.
You know, they just think that, you know, I have an uncle, I'm speaking from existence, who has served all this time in the Marines, and he was talking about it last week, and I was like, you know, you're going to just get $300, and it's going to take damn near 2 years for us to get that back. Like, now you're 65 years old with underlying health conditions. You know, so these are things I'm just speaking of, you know, from personal, you know, experience. And he's like, well, niece, what am I going to do? And I told him, I don't have an answer for you. You know, I don't. I can look up some things and research, but these are things that he was just automatically thinking, I'm a vet. I'm going to be put away when it's that time. So you all are recruiting. Is Primerica just based in Mississippi, or do you all have offices like nationwide?
No, ma'am. We are nationwide. Actually, we are even out of the country. And not only that, and I'm going to even speak on myself. I am 40 years old. 2005, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. at that point in 2005, I had, of course, my parents had little policies. You know, they had policies on me. But you have to understand, me being a mom of 4, I needed something. Now that I know the importance on life insurance, I needed my own personal life insurance, something that I have total 100% control of my own. Being that I am a life insurance agent, now that I know the importance of it, again, being that I'm a mother of 4, I am uninsurable now. I have multiple sclerosis. It's nothing that I can do now. Granted, now me being me, I see a term. I live by term. I would never purchase a whole life insurance policy. And this is my personal intake about it. Because first of all, even if I purchase a whole life, I would have to wait 2 years before, God forbid, before even that policy would even pay out. Now, right. Even if their policy do pay out, just say for instance, just say I be paying on the policy, and God forbid he calls me home, the only thing I can get back is what I don't put in that policy. So I won't even get the whole benefit if I was to leave here. So, so if now what my mom and dad put in place for me, okay, I'm good. But anything that I put in place for myself, I did not do that. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I was not aware of it. So I would tell anyone between the age of 19, especially when, cause African Americans, we are having kids at a young age right now. When they start having kids and stuff and, doing things like that, we need to start speaking to them immediately before they get uninsurable, so they can get a high coverage at a small rate, and then we can lock that rate in. And so we know they're locked in and they already covered. And then that way we know they're set for at least a period of time before they get uninsurable for any reason. So we just need to get the ball rolling. Because just like I said, lack of knowledge, you perish. So we just need to get this knowledge out there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Nancy, speaking on the life insurance portion of it, and the importance of it, also, as we all know, income and money is something that is of importance to the Black community and also scarce as well. Do you guys provide affordable, low monthly plans? And if you do, can you give us an example of what a plan looks like?
I know our cheapest rate is as low as $15 a month. Mm-hmm. So we can go as low as $15 a month and say, we can do maybe a 20-year-old, maybe 150,000, for about maybe $15 a month.
That's great. Actually.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we can play, and we can actually play around with it.
So with that being said, and knowing that it is affordable for the African American community or just the community in general, what would you say, going back to Aziza's question, coming from you and your working experience, what is the importance of the life insurance in the Black community? Why is it important? If you could give us that answer in one sentence, why is it important?
To be honest, this is just, to me, this is just like a foundation of that generational wealth. Now that's just to me. Because you have to realize whoever you're leading, because insurance is not for the living. And that's just for real. Whoever that money that you're leaving for your beneficiaries, it's not going to do us any good for the living. It's just not. So whoever your beneficiary is, you want to make sure that money is going to be left to someone that's going to leave a legacy in your name.
Right. That's right.
Okay. So, other than the insurance, the life insurance, what other specific services do you provide with Primerica?
With Primerica, we also, just like I said, we do college 529 plans, which is a tax-free place where you can save for your child's college education, as long as you spend that money for room, board, tuition. You can even use that money for a vehicle, as long as it's for their child college education. That's a tax-free place where you can use that money. You have a Roth IRA where they're already saying that about time we get ready for retirement. Social Security is not going to be around for us. So you have a free place where you can save for retirement there, where you get a better rate of return instead of putting your money in like savings account and different places like that, but you're saving it in mutual funds where you get a higher rate of return, cutting out that middleman. So we offer a plethora of different financial services. So Primerica is more than just life insurance. I mean, when I say financial services, we do everything. Anything that's dealing with anything dealing with financial services, we offer it all. Auto and home, insurance, mortgages, quick and loan, whatever you need, we got it.
Well, okay. Well, that kind of goes right into our last two questions that Aziza had for you in reference to your services. So I'll let Aziza go ahead and ask those questions.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Keya. Yeah, that just tied in great, because my next question, Nancy, was the importance of investments in a 401k, if it's an option for you at your place of employment, or even educating the people to realize that it doesn't have to be tied into their employer. We have so many, the workforce has become an independent workforce, and I think we've seen it in greater numbers just due to the pandemic and entrepreneurship and businesses, which is great. But investing, Forex trading and these different groups that are, popping up, and I say popping up because I'm getting more traffic and, people trying to see if I want to participate, in it, or not, that I haven't seen, in a while. I'll just put it like that. So the importance of investing, period, in yourself, if you're going to be working either for someone or for yourself.
Absolutely.
So can you just briefly explain like the importance, of that, of having that financial security? If you're going to be going to work, my motto is I'm going to pay myself every day that I clock in first. So, but for those who may not know, that you don't have to have an investment plan tied into a particular employer offering it. Does that make sense what I'm asking?
Yes, ma'am. So, of course, with a traditional 401k, anything that you don't have control over, we've always had the motto, whatever you don't control, somebody else controls. So, again, like I was telling you about the Roth IRA, that's something that you you control that. You sit back and you watch your money grow for it. I mean, you watch you have control over that, so you watch your money grow. So we strongly, if you're gonna be in the workforce, we strongly recommend our clients to participate in different stuff like that, because a lot of times when you're working for corporate America, they do match a lot of stuff that that you participate in, but you do have flaws with that, because if the company bellies up, they can seize all those assets, and that's just part of corporate America. So we highly recommend you taking control of your own money. So even though you put a dime here, you might want to put a quarter over here. So, again, I have something that you take control over. So, again, that's why we always tell tell our clients to make sure, you invest in your your Roth IRA, or, and watch your money compound. And so we definitely, I commend you on doing, making those tremendous strides in the right direction. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I can't wait to dig more into Primerica.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
My antennas are up. Okay, I'm not doing enough. Okay, so. I have daughters that, my children are grown, and they need, So,
yes,
thank you very much.
Yes. We definitely need to exchange contact information.
Indeed, Ashe.
And we're going to be able to allow you to provide that for the listeners as well, because I'm pretty sure the listeners want to, contact you as well. But before we get to that, can you let us know about any upcoming events that you may have coming up soon? Anything major going on soon?
Well, the only thing that I usually do, Keya, I know 2020, I did have to cancel every year I do an MS walk.
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah, that's so nice, Nancy. Yeah.
I did. I did it last year. And this year I had everything planned and going, but of course, due to the pandemic, I had to cancel it this year. So 2021, we getting everything started up and getting everything going. So I would definitely keep you in the loop in that for March of 2021. So I definitely keep you up and going with that. And I definitely would love to have you out for that this year.
Man, every time I see it on Facebook, Aziza, I always say, man, I wish I was at home, because it's like everybody is there that you know from home, and it's supporting the cause. And then if you know Nancy, it makes you want to do it even more. And I love it. And I hope I'm able to come home or be home when it does happen, because I want to participate so bad. I see it every time on Facebook.
Yeah, so this is a major thing. Well, I have an aunt in California that has MS, so I'm, kudos to you for not letting something like that get in your way at all.
Yeah.
So I just want to give thanks for that.
Shout out to you, girl. You've been strong for a long time.
Thank you, y'all, and y'all just don't understand. That means a lot to me. And look, I'm seeing everything you doing, girl, and you keep it up.
Thank you. So, you guys, we are running out of time, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in. But before we close for tonight, we want to give Nancy an opportunity to give the listeners her contact information on her social media platforms, email address, however you want the listeners to be able to contact you to learn more about Primerica.
Okay, guys, y'all can reach me at 662-739-4074. Again, that is 662-739-4074. Email address, Nancy, BRRGHS@yahoo.com. Y'all be blessed like kings and queens that you are.
And Nancy, is there anyone out there that you want to give a shout out to? Because I know your mom, your sister, they may be listening. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Definitely. I definitely want to give a shout out to my mom and my sister, as well as I want to give a big shout out to Tammy Beasley, as well as JD Dixon. I also want to give a big shout out to my better half, to Jarvis Burnside. I love you guys, and I definitely want to give a big shout out to my kids as well. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, girl is so crazy. Oh my goodness.
I love her energy.
She been like this her whole life, Aziza. Aziza, her whole life, she been like this.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Before we close out tonight, Aziza, she always ends the episode with a quote. So I'm going to let Aziza go ahead and end with a quote for tonight.
Well, actually, due to Queen Nancy, I have two because this resonated with me. So something sticks immediately. Know what was it you said? The cry and the why. So that just tells me reassess things like, why are you doing it? Because you did speak on, starting over. But I got out of that a story of evolution and ascension.
Mm-hmm.
Like you stopped, you picked it back up. You stopped, you picked it back up. But what was for you was meant for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm giving thanks to you for recognizing that. And however it happened, it happened. So that was this is Dr. Claude Anderson, one of my favorites, Powernomics, because we've been speaking wealth and generational wealth, and that's just something that I'm about, witnessing it and having it removed and having to be the one in my family to start it over. The 40 million melanated Americans spend 1.1 trillion a year. Now it's actually 1.3 trillion. If we spent 1/3 of this with each other, we'd all be millionaires in 2 years. Dr. Claude Anderson.
Wow. Yeah.
And do you have a second one, Aziza?
No.
That's it? Okay.
It was when Nancy said, she had the cry behind her why. Like she said, and it was like, ooh,
I like that. I like that.
Like, why am I doing this? And, that I didn't see it as a pause or she was not moving. I see it as ascension. It just came together, Keya, how I am. I feel like it was no divine order. It wasn't like, and that happens when you're launching out on, entrepreneurship. We speak about this stuff all the time, sis, you and I, just doing things and trying to manage everything. And so that was a testimony. So I'm giving thanks, Nancy.
Definitely.
For that.
Yeah. Shout out to you again, Nancy. And I wish you the best on your journey and your endeavor. I know you're going to be successful because it's in you to be that. You were born into that. So I know you're going to be successful.
Yes.
And again, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your information and your knowledge with myself and Aziza. And we hope you do come back and share more information with us once you grow. And then even so, I'll come back on and talk about, your walk for 2020 if you want to promote that as well.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it, guys. Thank y'all.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
And you guys, with that being said, always remember you are the bomb within your own shell and stay down for the crown. Peace, love, and light. Good night, you guys.
Peace.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure you subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted. Rate, review, and share this podcast with your family and friends. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you're leaving with some valuable information that can help you on your personal journey. Also, check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Bombshell1111 or at Bombshell1111 TV. You can also check out our mental health page, Your Health is Your Wealth, on Facebook, which is a page created to inform and support individuals with mental health and other health conditions. And with that being said, always remember, you guys, you are a bomb within your own shell. And until next time, peace, love, and light.